What's up, y'all? DJ LV from OzCat Radio, 89.5 FM, KZCT Vallejo, the Bay Sesh, and Cannapolitan Magazine. I'm here in New York City at the 50th anniversary of the New York City Cannabis Parade and Rally. As you may or may not know, the culture in New York has been a lot rougher for the cannabis culture. They just went medical a few years ago, and they just went recreation a year and a half ago. So they've been fighting this whole time, 50 years, for the rights for people to smoke and cannabis, grow their own medicine and everything else. Probably starting right here with this rally. I'm here with Steve. He's the OG at this current parade today, and he's going to tell us a little more about it. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm very excited. We have a beautiful day, great crowd. Last year we had a rain out, so anything's better than a rain out. And boy, this is great weather. Big difference from the last couple of years. It was during the COVID period. We didn't have an event in 2020. We had small events in 2020 and 2021 and 22 last year with rain. So this year is sort of like a godsend. That we're back in here with a nice big crowd. A lot of excitement in New York City. 420 just happened, big crowds. Now we have our event, big crowd. We're also now partnering with the City of New York's CANNABIS NYC and DeShita Dawson. That's the first time we're working together with the city as opposed to sort of being somewhat rivals, or that we're trying to change the laws. And there were years when the police were not very nice to us at our events. They arrested us at the events, NYPD, but that's changed dramatically over the last 10 years, and especially in the last 2 with legalization. So it's a big day.
Awesome. And how does that feel working with the city? Have they been amicable with you?
Totally. I think we could have done it with anybody but DeShita Dawson, because she's part of our community and really understands who we are and what we're about, understands the legacy aspect of this event and how important that is, to keep the legacy alive.
Yeah.
We shouldn't
Big shout out to DeShita Dawson. She is representing for the legacy real hard across coast to coast. Big shout out to her, making big change in her hometown right here. She's the czar of New York City cannabis.
Exactly. And so this is what they call the liftoff. And this is a liftoff for their tour of events around New York that are cannabis-related events, and the liftoff for our event because we needed a lift.
Right.
Because, we were, kind of lost our sponsors, lost our large, big stage, small event, and the Parks Department really was just leave it small. And we came back saying, no, we want to come back to pre-COVID size, this stage, big crowd. And they were kind of, I don't know about that. DeShita stepped in and said, put in a good word for us with the Parks Department and made it happen. So we decided with that to team up as partners. We are full partners in this event now. It's no longer our event, it's a together event with the Cannabis Parade and the City of New York.
Awesome. Exactly. So now that vibe's changed a little bit. Up until now, it was a bit of a rally. It was a bit of a rebellion. Now, weed's legal. What's the message now? What is the rally for?
Well, the message is, it's a rally, but it's also a street festival and is a celebration of cannabis legalization in New York, of New York's very unique approach to cannabis legalization, which takes equity first and gives people an opportunity, maybe haven't had the opportunity, not let the corporate companies come in and just take over the market immediately, push them back and let other people in the door first. That's what's special about New York, and of course we support that. And this point of time, it's really exciting to, support the legal stores, acknowledge the fact that people want to buy weed everywhere around New York, but especially try and get people to go to the legal stores and support them because that's where it's at.
Yes, and what are you smoking on?
Well, right now I'm taking a break, but I'll be smoking on some Mad Men OG later today.
How do you feel the growers are represented at this rally, and are you a grower yourself?
I've grown a few plants, but I'm not a great grower, but I used to work at High Time, so I learned a lot. But the growers will love the event. I mean, it's not like an event where you can kind of show off your buds and smoke freely everywhere because the park has rules, but maybe we'll get to that point where we'll have a farmer's market for weed as well here like they have across the way on the other side of this park, and people can show off their buds and sell them. Would that be great?
Yes. And lastly, what would you like to say to any of my followers or listeners back home in California?
Well, Cali's the place. I've actually lived out there for a bit of my life and, kind of led the way, obviously with legalization, with medical use back in the 90s, tried to get legalization going in 2010, failed, got it in 2016. So California's been ahead of the way. Obviously, we know we had a lot of catching up to do.
Awesome. Well, we're right there with you. We love you. We're one big weed family.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Karen.
2023 Cannabis Parade, New York City, Union Square.